welcome to the new series, Build or Grill. Some new, I guess, series. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. But today, I'm not using a build that I created. I'm using one of you guys' build. Today's build is by one of the users called Cryo Lift. But today's his build. We had a back and forth on one of my videos, but we cool now. We cool. And basically, he said he think his build is better than what I created. And I was like, okay, drop the build. I'll try it out. You know, hey, if it's good, it's good. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna stress test the build. This is everything he told me to put in the build. I didn't change nothing yet. In this series, I will use your build in Mythic, and then I'll take it into like a -50, -40 portal activity. See how it works in there. And then we'll see if we need to do any critique into the build. If the build is bad, then I get to grill you. If the build is good, then hey, shout out to you. Hey, you just made a build on the channel. Everybody get to use it. Hey, power to you, okay? So this is the build he gave me. I'm finna take it in the first room of Mythic and see how it does, you know? Haven't used this at all. Some of you guys may be like, oh, it's the standard build of Backrus with Graviton Spike, but hey, maybe he got different stuff inside of it that make it stand out compared to other, you know, other content creators and them builds and whatnot. So we're gonna go inside the commencement mission, and we're just gonna go through the first room and see how I do. Now, this what Cryo said about his build is lengthy, but we're gonna read through it. This is his build. I want to break it down, what he say the gameplay loop is and everything. So on them, it says this build is meant for end game, which would be like Mythic, Raves, etc. like that, right? Backrus increases damage to all enemies that are slow. In case you guys didn't know, Backrus still have that intrinsic perk that if an enemy is slow, you do more damage to it. It's 10%. And then it says, and to stasis and arc weapons, anything in our dust field, we can do extra damage to. And we can freeze, dodge, and freeze again because we get our melee back. And the crossbow helps get those kills in Mythic, allowing you to put more decoys and safely getting your boats back. By then, your prismatic should fill up and you can spam freeze again. Once you're out, you can, I'm reading how he's typed it, y'all. Once you're out, you can spam your super and use your crossbow, and that should refill your prismatic again. And it's an endless circle, I think he meant cycle. Endless cycle, mint and bow, great DPS, hand cannon, great for ads. This build is meant for actual hard game content, so of course you're only going to use the best weapons. Okay. So that's the description for you guys on his end. Now, the reason why me and Cryo, to give you a little backstory, the reason why me and him had a back and forth in the comment section was because I felt like his build was more oriented around the weapons and the meta being strong compared to the build itself being amazing. And he swore that no, the build is amazing. It's not just because of the weapons. So we finna find out, is it because of the weapons or is it the actual build? So I'm gonna go over here. Just killed him. Alright. I copied the artifact and everything. So whatever he chose the artifact stuff, that's what we got on, okay? So right now we're rocking Gunpowder Gamble and the Spectral Threaded Spectre, whatever. Our Shadow Clones. Rocking Mint Retrograde, Graviton Spike. He said heavy can be whatever you want. He recommended the crossbow. I don't have it yet because I haven't been in the raid yet. I'll be in the raid next week with my clan because everybody lies finally aligned together for me to go in there with the bros. But yeah, I'll be getting that later. But I know they're nerfing it next week, so who knows? Who knows if that's gonna be good or not, right? But he said any strong heavy weapon, arc or stasis. I just put out the chill inhibitor, you know, stasis weapon, still strong bait and switch. So hey, that's what I went with. A lot of people should have it already. I know a lot of people don't have a crossbow, so we're gonna go in here, blind these people, throw this out, shade step. I'm gonna use my I'm gonna shade step again. They frozen. Oh, that could have been a horrible situation right there. Just Mint Retrograde. I kind of want to get over here and make a clone. I want to slow the Cyclops, then shoot him. Then I want to, slow him again. Put a clone right here. Slow shurikens again. Way out of heavy. It's all good. These ain't gonna come out. I want to go down here and pick up these shards and stuff. Slow. Gunpowder gamble. Blow them all up. Get up here. Get up here. Ooh. We don't throw our super out. Alright. Playing a little back forth right now. A little back forth. It's not this the last enemy over here. Put the clone out. Slow him. I'm going based off what he told me to gameplay loop. That's what I'm going based off of here. Throw dust field on him. And finish him. I'll go to the second room too. I'll go in the second room just to confirm it some more. Cause now I'm out of mint retrograde and heavy really. I use that mostly in that room. I didn't use graviton spike like that. I'm gonna try to use graviton spike only in this room over here. Here. Get this kill. Slow. So with that, backers do more damage. Okay. Change. Okay, it looks like working good. It looks like working good right now. Chased up. Change. Remember, I keep getting the slow off to get that extra damage from backwards. Chased up. We gotta keep the combo going. Wish I had reloaded before then, right there. Slow. We'll change again. Change. I'm on console, by the way. Just letting people know I'm not on PC. PC, I'm pretty sure the build work a lot better. You can make sure you hit all them headshots with your hand cannon. Alright, I think that was enough. Time to go inside a portal now. We're gonna test inside a portal now. I got some configurations in my head right now that will make the build a bit better. But I'm gonna hold that after the portal run. We're gonna go inside a portal run and we're gonna do -50. I want to take it inside Mythic one more time and show you guys the one flaw with this build, like the major pain point. It's the build is good. The build is structured good, but it's one of them situations where I personally would say that happens a lot to people that make builds is they get caught, they get lost in the sauce. They get lost in the sauce and they try to add too much stuff inside their build when they should have just focused on like one main plot point in their build. So we're gonna go through this mythic mission, right? And the other time I went through here, I used a lot of special and heavy in that build, in that first room we was in, right? This time I'm gonna this time I'm gonna build up stacks with backwards first, right? I'm gonna build up stacks with backwards first, and then I'm gonna start using graviton spike and see how it performs in there, and then I'll give y'all my critique and stuff of the build and all that type of stuff. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna throw this shade step, we're gonna get some kills with mint retrograde, right? Get some kills. Shade step again, get some kills. Shade step again. Now we have 3 light shifts, right? Now I need to hurry up and find some more enemies to kill before light shield goes off. Alright, change it. You see how good the build works now? You just gotta get them 3. You just gotta get them the light shift stacks first. Get the light shift stacks first, and then everything kind of works smooth. So it's one of them situations where it's like combination blow. It's like combination blow. I think it's a good example. Combination blow, the build is good once you get your 3 stacks, right? But now we're in a predicament here. I can use my super though. There's no more small fries to beat up now. So now I'm kind of relying on using my heavy and special, which is okay. I'm just saying. Now, I just want to point out something in this whole scenario just went down. I want to point out something. Y'all just seen I cleared this room out. Did I really need Gunpowder Gamble? That's the point I want to point out here. Did I really need Gunpowder Gamble to do this? No, Gunpowder Gamble don't really have a place in this build, really. Yeah, you can say you're trying to get a lot of damage from the Gunpowder Gamble explosion with the frozen enemies because of Colorado Darkness, but we've been through this. I done did a video on this on where the main damage from Gunpowder Gamble comes from when it comes to the Colorado Darkness and the Shattering. It's better with the crystals. You stick Gunpowder Gamble on a crystal, it does explosion, and it does insane damage. This build right here, Gunpowder Gamble is irrelevant, okay? It's irrelevant. Your main purpose in this build is getting 3 stacks of Light Shift with Baccaris so that Graviton Spike actually starts doing dumb damage to kill the ads in the room. Now, how do you get Light Shift quick? It's based on your meta weapons. It will be you using Baccaris, Shade Step, and then you will get kills with Mint Retrograde or the crossbow if you have it, or any strong heavy arc or stasis heavy. But the crossbow works perfectly with this build because it's an arc crossbow, and you get infinite heavy picking up your bows while you are killing these enemies, and you just walk and pick it up, right? Your whole purpose is to use your Mint Retrograde or your heavy to get your 3 stacks of Light Shield very quick, and then Graviton Spike is finally able to do something in this build. Without 3 stacks of Light Shield, Graviton Spike falls very short in this build, as y'all seen with my first, playthrough inside Mythic. Now that I got the gameplay loop down, this build is phenomenal. It's the normal Baccaris build. It's not like I'm finna be like gassing it up, but like once you get your 3 stacks, this just shows how strong Baccaris is now in this sandbox. Once you get 3 stacks of Light Shift, Graviton Spike hit hard because 3 stacks of Light Shift give you 33% extra damage with Baccaris. And any enemy that's slow, they don't tell you, but intrinsically Baccaris still has the perk where if an enemy is slow, you do 10% more damage to them. So that stacks with the 33%. So as long as you got 3 stacks of Light Shift and you slowing the enemy before you shoot Graviton Spike at them, this build goes a long run with doing a lot of damage. And then of course all you gotta do is get 2 kills to get class to get some more class ability to Shade Step again. So while you got that buff up, you can easily keep spamming your Shade Step as usual, like everybody used to with Baccaris in the build. As long as you're killing people quick, you can spam the Shade Step non-stop while enemies focus on the clones. Okay, so yeah, if I had to grade this build, I give this build like a B+. I get a B+. A is the top of the top, and then S would be like, oh yeah, God tier, use this build. I get a B+, A-. Now I would say what I would change in this build to make it better. Okay, first things first, artifact. I don't know if he sent the artifact to me not setting it up right, but before I get into the changes of the build and the artifact and whatnot, let me speak on the major pain point in this build and why I gave it a B+ and not like an A or even an S tier ranking in this video, because this definitely has S tier potential. Is look at this. What didn't pop up? Amplified. The main issue with this build is survivability. The damage is there. You're spamming Baccaris. You're using Graviton Spike with all the buffs from Baccaris being stacked up, and if you got Surges on, if you got Radiant on, Crossbow do dumb damage, and Mint Retrograde do dumb damage. The damage is there in the build. The issue is survivability. We know in Destiny, even if you putting out clones, the enemies are still going to hold you sometimes. Every enemy won't get aggroed by the clone. Sometimes the clone may not stay out there long enough. Splat devs may still hit you, etc., etc. This build lacks survivability. Now, In his artifact, he does have the frost armor thing on. Problem is, the only stasis weapon in this build is Graviton Spike. And the purpose of Graviton Spike is changing between the arc form and the stasis form. That's the gameplay loop of Graviton Spike. So you're not always gonna have the stasis form out to get kills to get that frost armor. So most of the time, you're walking around with Graviton Spike with only one stack of frost armor. So there's no survivability there. And let's be frank here. This build relies off the crossbow. Okay? The crossbow does dumb damage right now. And the main gameplay loop on this build, if you have the crossbow, is literally just shade step, crossbow kills. Shade step, crossbow kills. So you're mostly getting arc kills in this build. So there's no survivability at all. So if we're going to be getting mainly arc kills in this build, why aren't we getting amplified in this build? So the first thing I'll do to fix this build is survivability. Yeah, you're making clones all day if you're killing enemies quick. But what happens when there's not a lot of enemies to kill to have your clones out there? What if we get in a situation where just mini bosses out there and stuff? What are you going to do for survivability to reposition yourself to get your gameplay loop back started again? So first off, in the artifact, I already changed it here. He didn't have Frost Renewal on, which makes it that when you got Frost Armor on, if you get red health, it does a freeze pulse around you, freezing all the enemies, and give you Frost Armor on top of that. And I decided to go with shoulder to shoulder, so you're playing with your friends, you get resist on if you get precision shots, since you should be trying to aim for precision shots with Graviton Spike. Because Graviton Spike is a very PC friendly weapon. Console, you gotta be a little bit skilled, but you get the alternate form charged up, the arc form and stasis form charged up with the more precision hits you get and kills you get. If you get precision hits and a kill, you get the perk even quicker. So you want to be aiming for the precision shots. It's hard to do it on the Vex when it comes to like the hobgoblins with their stomachs and stuff. Sometimes they hiding it and whatnot, which can slow your gameplay loop down. But when it comes to like falling and stuff with their headshots, shoot them in the head, very simple. So shoulder to shoulder is very good. I decided to go with refresh threads and elemental coalescence in the artifact to make it that you get way more uptime when making stasis shards, so that you can pick them up and get your melee back quick and your least charge ability back quicker. I don't know why you didn't have these two on as well. We don't have Cauterized Darkness on in this build, but again, you could take off shoulder to shoulder and can put on Cauterized Darkness to make the Radiant Shrapnel do more damage. But we won't be using Gunpowder Gamble in this build. In his subclass, there's a few things I would change. One, I don't think we need Dustfield Grenade. I think we should change to Arc Bolt Grenade instead and just rely off the slow coming from our Withering Blades. Because when you put on an Arc Bolt Grenade, now anytime we get arc kills, we get amplified. And we all know how good amplified is. It makes it that enemies miss their shot shooting at you and you get extra damage resist. So now you have amplified in this build with Frost Armor, which I think is a very good combination to have on for survivability if the enemy's not looking at the clones themselves. So I say go with Arc Bolt Grenade instead of Dustfield Grenade. You will be getting your Withering Blades back quick from shade stepping all day with Gambler's Dodge, so you just use your Withering Blades to do the slow on the team, on the enemies as well. The second thing I would change, I don't think Gunpowder Gamble is doing a lot in this build. We're not spec'd into the grenade stat. I went based off of the mods he had on in his build, which was class ability, weapon, and melee. So I just went with above 100 melee stat, 100 weapon stat, and class ability stat being at least 70 and up. So there's nothing in a grenade build, in grenade stat in this build. So Gunpowder Gamble don't do as much dumb damage you think it does with the Cauterized Darkness. So I don't think we need Gunpowder Gamble on. I think we should just go with Winter Shroud, because Winter Shroud give us damage resistance every time we use our Shade Step, our class ability, and it's a 50% damage reduction, I believe, and it stays on for 4 seconds. Since we're going to be killing enemies non-stop and spamming our class ability, why not get the damage resist while we're doing that in case the enemies do shoot at us while we're shade stepping and getting the kills and stuff. You can get your kills within 4 seconds. So this stacked with Amplify and Frost Armor will make us very tanky in this build, with clones being out there with Threaded Spectre. So I don't say opt in on Gunpowder Gamble. I think Cryo, I think you got lost in the sauce. I don't think you need Gunpowder Gamble when your crossbow is doing the dumb damage in this build right now, and then Graviton Spike when you have max stacks. I don't think you need Gunpowder Gamble for damage. Your crossbow handles that. I think you need to focus on the strength of the build, which is backwards, and just forget about freaking Gunpowder Gamble as a whole. Fragments, I don't think you need Faster to Hope if you change to Winter Shroud, because whenever you slow somebody, you get 300% uptime on your class ability. So if you do ever mess up your backwards combo, you'll get it back quick from just throwing a shuriken to slow somebody, or somebody already slower from you, shade stepping, or your supers out there right now. So I don't think you need Faster to Hope to get your ability, your class ability back quick, because you're not getting ability uptime while Light Shift is active anyway. You have to get kills. So I don't think Faster to Hope needs to be on. I think Faster to Hope can be changed to something like Faster Devotion, so that you get some light transcendence back quicker in the build, so you can spam Prismatic way more often if you than you want. You could also go with Faster to Bravery. If you get some shuriken kills, you get some unraveling rounds with your Mint Retrograde. You also can go where's that? You also can go Faster to Dominance. Since you're using Artbow Grenade, you can add some Jolt in your build. You know, all up to you. Personally though, I would take off Faster to Hope and put on Faster of Purpose for survivability. We barely ever get Frost Armor in this build from the artifact because we switch in forms of Graviton Spike. So it's better for us to have Faster to Purpose on, so when we pick up Orb Power, we get 2 stacks of Frost Armor. So as we getting multiple kills and making orbs, we can get uptime on Frost Armor non-stop in this build with Amplify, with Winter Shroud, so survivability is up there while we got clones out there. Just seems like the smarter move. Everything else can stay. You know, getting your melee back quick from light kills, because you're getting crossbow kills with Graviton Spike with Arc as well. You get your melee back, and then darkness kills with Mint Retro, get your grenade back quick. You know, I think that faster bounce is good. And Artbow Grenade gonna give you a lot of light energy too. It's the best grenade for light energy when it comes to the prismatic build for 100. So this gonna help you get your prismatic bar up quicker for light as well. So I think faster to balance is good. Faster protection for survivability is good. Faster to Dawn, get a 20% extra weapon damage on top of the light shifts and stuff from backwards. And then faster command when you're getting kills when people are frozen for stasis shards. You really don't need this because of the artifact giving you stasis shards, but if you want your weapons to get reloaded quicker because of the Graviton Spike combo with the stasis crystals, you can do that with Graviton Spike. Me personally though, I say just opt into Faster Awakening. Faster Awakening makes it that you get elemental pickups from getting rapid kills with whatever weapon. So if you're getting art kills, you get Honored Traces, which will give you ability uptime on all your abilities, and you're doing a crossbow, so that's even better. But also too, if you get stasis kills, you make even more stasis shards. So if you rock this and you kill people with the crossbow, not only will you be making Honored Traces, but you'll also be making stasis shards because of the artifact where it says getting defeated target has a chance to make elemental pickup matching your super. Our super is stasis, so you'll be making stasis shards and Honored Traces with rocking Facet of Awakening instead of Facet of Command. So that's what I would change inside the subclass in the artifact. And then when it comes to weapon mods, armor mods, Harmonic Siphon, Arc Siphon is good. I don't have to change it, you know, Special Ammo Finder. I think everything's good in the helmet. Armor piece, I don't think you need Focusing Strike, since when Light Shift is active, you can't get class ability energy. So I will probably change Focusing Strike to like something like, what is it called, Grenade Core, yeah, Momentum Transfer instead. So when you do grenade damage, it gives melee cooldown, so you can spam more shurikens, and then your shurikens give you grenade cooldown, so they both work off each other. And then you can keep heavy handed if you want, or you can replace it, all up to you. But that's why I was changing the arm piece. Chest piece, I have no idea why you got charged up on. It's increase the maximum number of stacks of armor charge you can carry by 1. Have no idea why you have this on. I gotta kind of agree you a little bit here. No idea, because you only have one blue mod in your kit, and that's the weapon find, and we gotta talk about that one too. So I don't understand why you got charged up on. Just replace charged up with melee damage resistance, since you're gonna be shade stepping near enemies, or put on ammo generation mod so that you can make more ammo for your mint retrograde in case you run out of it. Buff the ammo generation stat on graviton spike or your crossbow, since your crossbow will have infinite ammo to begin with. Leg piece, I would replace absolution. Again, survivability in this build. Our absolution don't give you that much energy back. It's not mandatory. I would take all absolution and put on better already. So if your health ever low, you just pick up an orb and your health start regenerating again. Weapon find. We already got 100 weapon stat in our build. This build is not about getting a lot of ammo for picking up bricks off the ground, because crossbow doesn't run out of ammo. So I would just opt into an arc weapon surge and give that crossbow and graviton spike arc form that extra 11% extra damage on top of the light shift and slow and radiant. The arc form of graviton spike is the weakest compared to the stasis one because of the different RPM, so you might as well give that extra oomph it needs. So arc weapon surge is the smarter option here. Again, I don't know what you were doing with them armor mods. It was not a smart decision. Just being honest here. Not trying to be rude, just being honest. And then your class item. You don't need distribution on. Okay? I'm trying to wrap my head around this. You're using backwards. Why don't you have Reaper on? It's the smarter option. You make more orbs so you can pick up to help start health regen. You get your surge stacks for your leg piece, and you pick them up to get your melee back more, since you put that in your leg piece. Picking up orbs give it to you. So I don't understand why wouldn't you run Reaper. That's every kill after a shade step you make an orb, so you get your super back quicker and your abilities back quicker and health regen. Where was the logic there? Distribution, we don't really care about distribution. We ain't gonna be shade stepping near enemies that much for this build. So yeah, if you want distribution on, you can do Reaper and distribution and take powerful attraction off. You have powerful attraction on like you making a lot of orbs. I don't understand. I don't understand. So you can take off powerful attraction, just go distribution, just remember to pick up your orbs, or just go Reaper powerful attraction and then orbs get picked up for you. But yeah, I didn't understand your armor mods in this situation. This how I would run your build. This make it way more deadly and way more survivability. This how I would perfect your build. And yeah, your stats can be whatever they want to be with already with the whole 100 melee, 70 class, and 100 weapon stat. Okay. Now I graded your build and stuff. Now this is a build. It passed the build check. But I gotta grill you a bit. Not because of the armor mods or the artifact not making sense or the survivability inside your subclass. I gotta grill you on the fact that you tried to say that your build didn't rely off of the meta weapons. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is a nasty build if you got the crossbow. Because literally all you have to do is shade step, put a clone out there, shoot 2 crossbows at people. The crossbow gonna be doing temporal blast on every shot it does, because not only because of the bow being strong right now, explosive rounds, but temporal blast works based off of can you hit that damage threshold with 1 bullet. With light shift buffing up our damage and a surge mod in our leg piece now, literally as you get more stacks of light shift and you slowing people down for that extra damage, and you got radiant for the extra 20% damage, not only getting radiant 20%, light shift 33%, backwards 10% from slow enemies, and 11% from the arc surge and the leg piece, and the weapon stat buffing up even more, 15%, 10%, whatever. The damage is there. So this build relies off of you shade stepping, crossbow, shade step, pick up them arrows that the people you just killed with the crossbow with ease. Crossbow, shade step, and it's an infinite loop because you can always pick up your arrows off the ground for the crossbow, and the clones will be out there non-stop, and you just an infinite cycle. So that's what makes this build broken. The crossbow with backwards is a dumb, insane combo. So the fact you try to kind of be kind of like, no, it's my build. It's not the weapon itself. No, I gotta be 100% honest. If I had this crossbow on my character, bro, Graviton Spike would never get pulled out. And that's just me being 100% honest. Graviton Spike would never get pulled out. I'll be 100% using Mint Retrograde and a crossbow 24/7 in this build. And that's just me being honest. That's me keeping it real. Some can even argue to not even go with Winter Shroud and go with Stash Executioner, just so they can go invisible every time they kill somebody and pick up their crossbows even easier. Some can even argue that. Some can. Of course you wouldn't go with you would keep Winter Shroud on so they get slow, so you keep the Stash Executioner loop going, and you would take off Threaded Spectre off instead. But yeah, this build definitely relies off the crossbow, in my opinion. Does the build work without the crossbow? Yes, I demonstrated that. But the real strength of this build on harder end content, and why you say your build is super strong, is because of that crossbow. If I had that crossbow, I would have killed the mini bosses in that room, the Cyclops stuff, with ease. With ease. It would have deleted them. And that's what makes this build mythic. So if you have the crossbow, use it with this build. Yes, they nerfed it on Tuesday, but I still think the crossbow is still going to be strong. Temporal Blast won't be doing as insane damage it's doing, but it definitely works this build. And that's my critique. That's my critique on how to make this build better. Yes, I say this is a build. It definitely build. I just had a grill cryo a little bit there because it's like, he said, he gave me right, y'all. I'm not just being mean. He said if the build is ass or anything like that, I can come at him, you know. I truly believe this build does get carried by the crossbow, though. I do believe this build, if you use the crossbow, the potential of the build goes from B to S tier immediately. So if you do have the crossbow, use this build. If you don't have the crossbow, this is still a decent build. I personally, I wouldn't use Graviton Spike. I would just pull out the Lord of Wolves and just go crazy. Just go crazy with this build. Lord of Wolves with back wristers with this build, and you're deleting everything. You'll get things done just as quick or even quicker. I don't think Graviton Spike is the play. I think just Lord of Wolves and just go Oonga Boonga, personally. Anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up.